My favorite bit of Philadelphia lore, the curse of William Penn. So originally, as I mentioned earlier, City Hall was supposed to be the tallest building in the world, but we had to settle for being the tallest building in Philly. We had a little gentleman's agreement saying that no building should be taller than William Penn's hat, and then we broke that agreement in 1986. Watch your heads. Watch your heads. Now, when we broke that, we started noticing something was very wrong in the heart of the thing we love most around here. Our sports. It was an awful time to be a Philadelphia sports fan in the 90s and the early 2000s, and instead of blaming bad management or bad teams, we blamed it on us breaking that agreement with City Hall. So we dubbed it the curse of William Penn. In order to combat it, when we built Comcast One, that is the USB-looking skyscraper in our skyline, we put a little 6-inch figure of William Penn up at the top, and that building was completed in 2008. That same year, our baseball team, the Philadelphia Phillies, won the World Series and beat the Tampa Bay Rays in 5 games, much to the dismay of my best friend. Then we did the same thing in 2017 when we built Comcast 2, that is the router-looking building in our skyline, and we put another 6-inch figure of William Penn at the top. There is a woman whose mummified body was turned into soap after she died, and there are slices of Albert Einstein's brain on display. Einstein's brain was stolen from him after he died because they wanted to dissect it and see if there was anything different about a curse or a victim of the curse of William Penn, as well as the Philadelphia Flyers. They have not won anything since the early 80s. Now, we're actually getting the city ready for 2026 with the 250th year celebrations of our city, of our country. Now, on our left-hand side, we have this beautiful statue of a man named Octavius Cotto. Mr. Cotto was a key political activist in getting our trolley lines desegregated and our ballot boxes desegregated. So I'll see him walking there towards that ballot box with a trolley behind him. It's placed here in his honor, as unfortunately he passed away, or he was assassinated rather, before he could put in his first ballot. Now, his funeral, though, was the second most well-attended funeral in our country's history. And no, they do not stop us. Now, once we get past this light here, or if we look on our right, we'll be able to see the Union League. The Union League was one of 10 leagues around the country that helped fund the Union during the Civil War. Nowadays, it is an incredibly expensive club to join, as it is $10K just as a sign-on fee, and a couple thousand every other month just to remain a part. Now, that soldier was not walking uphill originally. It was years of erosion that caused his walk into battle to be a bit more strenuous. Then we have the Bellevue Hotel here. According to them, every president from Teddy Roosevelt to Barack Obama have stayed in their walls. We have no proof of that. What we do have proof of is that Legionnaire's disease was founded in that hotel. Don't quite put that on the brochure, though. On our right over here, this is our first theater on the Avenue of the Arts. This is the Academy of Music, home to the Philadelphia Ballet. And right now it's playing Les Mis, one of the best plays ever written. Now, you can catch Les Mis here from or until September 8th, and you can actually watch it for as little as $40, as all of our theaters here on South Broad Street actually do rush tickets. Then we have our largest theater here on South Broad Street. This is the Kimmel Center. Kimmel holds over 70,000 people. It is home to the Philadelphia Orchestra and literally every single form of live art you can think of. Also playing Hamilton in our next month. Then on our right here, this was the University of the Arts. I say was because this arts college just shut down after 150 years of being a staple here on South Broad Street. When they shut down in June, they only gave their students and faculty a week notice and still took their tuition. I'm an alumni of the university, so I'm pretty mad at them. Well, now watch your heads here. These are Philadelphia trees. They also watched Rocky. Now, this is Pine Street. Pine Street has a lot of beautiful colonial row homes. Allegedly, when we built these homes, the king would tax us for every single wall we had in our house. So, we put our walls together to make these row homes and share that tax a little bit with our neighbors. Now, this specific section of Pine Street is known as the Gayborhood, as it is the LGBTQ+ cultural center of our city. all of our Pride events happen in this little 2-block area that is a smaller part of this large area known as Society Hill. Now, Society Hill was almost destroyed in the 1950s and replaced with mid-rises. But our city planner at the time, Mr. Edmund Bacon, saved them by selling them for as cheap as possible, under the condition that if you bought a home here on Pine Street, you must restore it to its colonial glory out of your own pocket. Now, we're about to see the first hospital in the country, Pennsylvania Hospital. Pennsylvania Hospital is older than electricity, and it is older than anesthetics. So, you would have to come on beautiful days like this from the hours of 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in order to get your surgery, as you'd be underneath a giant skylight on top of the roof. Now, back then you could watch a surgery for as little as 10 cents, or get a house call for as little as $1. You see it on the left-hand side here. That is the skylight on top of the roof there, as well as another statue of our founder, William Penn. Now, Penn is holding the charter there that gave him the rights to Pennsylvania. Originally, he wanted it to be called Sylvania, but the king insisted that they do something to honor his father, who was an admiral in the British Navy for many, many years, and was supposed to be the original recipient of the land of Pennsylvania. But he passed away before he could collect, so they named it Pennsylvania in his honor. So while it is technically true that Pennsylvania is named after William Penn, it's more William Penn Sr., the admiral. Now, as I mentioned, that hospital is older than anesthetics, so there were 3 ways back then to get knocked out for your surgery. They'd give you a nice bottle of rum, they'd give you some opium, or the most popular method among Quakers, nail it to the back of the head. That was because Quakers did not believe in drugs or alcohol, so they would have to come here to Pennsylvania Hospital, get knocked in the back of the head. If it didn't work, they'd have to come back a week later, after they recovered from their concussion, and do it all over again until they could actually get their surgery done. I don't know about you guys, a bottle of rum sounds a lot easier. Now, if we look on our right, we'll be able to see one of the oldest churches in the city. This is Mother Bethel AME Church. Mother Bethel was an active participant in the Underground Railroad, an actual underground network helping free people make their way up north in order to get to freedom. Now, Philadelphia was one of the last stops on the Underground Railroad as people made their way up north. We had a lot of great churches on Pine Street here. Next one will be on our right here. This is the appropriately named Pine Street Church. Now, Pine Street was used in the Revolutionary War as a stable and a hospital for the British soldiers, but everyone buried here fought on the American side of the Revolutionary War. You can see the original American flags there. All the British loyalists are buried right over here at St. Peter's Church, all except for 2 men, Mr. Dallas Goodberry, whom the city of Dallas, Texas was named after, and the first sheriff of Philadelphia. Surprisingly, it was not Benjamin Franklin. But it was his job to read the Declaration of Independence out loud to the townsfolk of Philadelphia and declare us as traitors to the king. So while the first shots of the Revolutionary War were shot up in New England, the war wasn't official until we signed that Declaration of Independence. Now on our right over here, this is Head House Square. Head House is one of the oldest marketplaces we have here in our city. Yesterday they had its weekly farmers market here, and in November they're having a really cool free Philadelphia comic. Watch your heads, watch your heads. Like I said, these are Philadelphian trees.